Hey guys, you are on the channel ReWatch. Today, I will tell you about the movie Piranha 3D 2. A year ago, the world was shocked when a swarm of ancient piranhas appeared in Lake Victoria and attacked students who had come to celebrate spring break. Dozens of young people were killed. A news report shows that Victoria Beach is now deserted. All the residents have left since the town's economy collapsed, and there are no more vacationers at the lake. We are shown an abandoned beach littered with pieces of dead piranhas and wrecked boats. We are then taken to another location, to another lake, where two men are looking for a missing cow. They find it dead in the water and try to pull the animal out. Inside the cow, there are piranha eggs that start coming out through the rear, releasing gases. One of the men decides to light a cigarette lighter, causing an explosion that scatters the piranhas from the cow into the lake. The piranhas attack the men and eat them, but one of them manages to bite off the head of a small piranha before dying. Next to this lake is a water park, where we meet Chet, the director of the park. He is preparing for its opening. Suddenly, his stepdaughter Maddy arrives, and he decides to talk to her. Apparently, she is unaware of the new changes in the park. Maddy asks him why he fired the old lifeguards and replaced them with nude dancers. He explains that the new employees are certified lifeguards. Chet says he's just trying to fulfill a promise he made to Maddy's late mother. To save the water park, he came up with a brilliant, simply brilliant idea. He hired stripper lifeguards and made an adults-only pool. She explores the park and finds half-naked and fully naked girls in the pools, a condom vending machine, and a camera connected to a large flat-screen TV displaying the naked charms of the girls emerging from the water. Later that evening, Maddy and her friends have fun by the pool with fireworks and alcohol. Also at the party is Kyle, a local law enforcement officer and Maddy's ex-boyfriend. They broke up due to the difficulties of a long-distance relationship, but now that Maddy is back for the holidays, Kyle seems very eager to rekindle their romance. Two friends, Shelby and Josh, head to the lake to get some privacy. They both decide to skinny dip, and Shelby dives in first. However, as the couple starts getting closer to each other, one of the small piranhas swims up to Shelby and enters in her through, well, you got it. Girl feels uncomfortable, thinking that Josh is trying to touch her intimate parts, and therefore, she gets out of the water. Meanwhile, Ashley and Travis have also left the party and are frolicking in a car.
Dear Lord, please forgive us for what we are about to do.
She cuffs her potential partner to the van's railing, but accidentally releases the handbrake, and they roll forward, falling into the lake. The water rises quickly, and Ashley exits the van through the window and starts calling for help. Meanwhile, piranhas attack Travis, and he screams in pain. The last thing Ashley sees is Travis's severed arm breaking through the van's rear window. The van sinks quickly, and Ashley continues to call for help, but to no avail. The next day, Maddy is worried that Travis and Ashley haven't shown up at work. The others continue to clean the pool area and pick up trash. Barry does this particularly creatively, throwing a trident in Aquaman style to catch a piece of flying litter. Suddenly, Shelby starts to feel nauseous and then vomits. Passing colleague Big Dave jokes that she is pregnant. Meanwhile, at the lake, the sheriff's department is pulling the yellow van out of the water. Once ashore, the van's door opens and no one is inside. Kyle heads out to inform the others. Shelby becomes increasingly worried due to the lack of contact with her friend Ashley. She sits at the end of the pier with her feet in the water. Maddy joins her, trying to calm her down. The piranhas sense their presence and start moving aggressively towards them, breaking the pier's boards. This causes Shelby to fall into the water, but her friend rescues her. With Maddy's help, she manages to get safely to land. However, their relief is short-lived as a piranha jumps out of the water towards them. Fortunately, Maddy catches it in midair, and together they beat the predator with stones. Hearing the commotion, Barry runs up to them. He recognizes the fish as a piranha.
Oh, is that a f***ing piranha?
After that, the friends, along with Kyle driving, heads to meet with marine biologist Carl Goodman. Since playing a key role in identifying and studying the piranhas in Lake Victoria, he has become a YouTube sensation. Initially, Goodman is reluctant to meet the three young friends, but upon hearing their story, he becomes excited and shares his research. We learn that piranhas can not only break through steel, but are also attracted to sulfur dioxide. He believes that as a result, they could end up in chlorinated water. Finally, he suggests that one day, they might even develop the ability to walk. That same night, Shelby still feels unwell and has a stomachache. She begs Josh to sleep with her because she doesn't want to die a virgin. During their intercourse, a piranha inside Shelby grabs Josh's cucumber, shocking him. In the end, he has to cut off his own cucumber. Meanwhile, at the lake, Maddy is determined to check the filter of her water park, which is connected to the lake to ensure it is safe and that piranhas cannot get through it. She asks Barry for help, but he says he can't actually swim. She dives in and finds that the metal grate is intact. However, on the way back, she gets bitten by a piranha. Hearing this, Kyle rushes out to save her. Reaching the shore, we see a spark of their former romance returning. After that, Kyle meets with Chet. As they sit in the car, the water park owner hands the cop an envelope of money. It seems that Kyle is turning a blind eye to Chet's illegal business. However, before leaving, he still gives him a speeding ticket. In one of the rooms overlooking the water park, we find David Hasselhoff from Baywatch playing a musical instrument in the company of two lovely ladies. Meanwhile, at the water park, hundreds of people are lined up to get inside. Among them are Andrew and Deputy Sheriff Fallon, who lost his legs during the events on Lake Victoria. Fallon tries to make friends with the water, but can't overcome his fears.
No, it's weak. Dump me in the water.
Swim, this is a great idea. Okay. All right, I can do this. Here we go.
No, I don't want to go! Oh!
On the big stage, Chet introduces Hasselhoff to the crowd. He bursts through a paper barrier, dressed in his Baywatch outfit and holding a red float, with the theme music from the show playing. The crowd cheers, then swarms him, desperately wanting selfies. Away from prying eyes, behind the water park, Maddy is inspecting the decorations. Chet joins her. She expresses her concerns about the piranhas, but he dismisses her worries. He spent $100,000 preparing for this big event and desperately doesn't want to end the party. Meanwhile, piranhas start breaking into the pool. The first evidence of this is a bite on a young red-headed boy named David. His mother, of course, doesn't believe him and sends him to the lifeguards for a bandage. He goes straight to David Hasselhoff but gets an autograph instead of a plaster. Then Maddy learns from a visitor that she saw a fish in the pool. Maddy starts to panic. She orders everyone out of the pool, but Kyle, siding with Chet, stops her. However, chaos ensues minutes later when a swarm of fish begins attacking partygoers, and Big Dave gets his ass bitten. Fallon, seeing the piranha attack, overcomes his fears and enters the water again to help people, this time on titanium legs. While the piranhas unsuccessfully try to knock him down, he lifts his left prosthesis to retrieve a gun built into the artificial leg. He uses it to kill the piranhas. Then it's Hasselhoff's turn to prove he's a hero. Realizing that he makes a living pretending to be a lifeguard, he decides to engage in real-life rescue. When young David screams in the pool, the Baywatch star runs towards him. He briefly stops, out of breath, but manages to jump into the pool and save the young boy. Meanwhile, Chet, realizing the trouble he could get into, decides to flee. Taking a box of money from his office, he tries to drive away but is distracted by the chaos around him, leading him to miss a taut rope that decapitates him. To try to get rid of the piranhas, Maddy sends Barry to turn on the pump to suck the water out of the pools. While she continues to try to save people, Barry manages to turn on the pump and Maddy gets sucked to the bottom of the pool. Kyle initially hesitates to save her, but realizing the danger he is in, quickly backs off due to his fear of blood. Barry returns to the pools and, despite not knowing how to swim, dives into the water. Unable to help Maddy, he returns to the surface. Using the trident he used earlier, he throws it into the water and hits a piranha directly. Then, using a rope and a weight, he descends to the bottom of the pool, where Maddy lies unconscious. Barry rescues her and performs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to revive her. Fully conscious, Maddy kisses him. Kyle, clearly disappointed that he didn't prove himself a hero, jumps into the pool, trying to save someone. To demonstrate this, he lifts a heavily chewed-up corpse. Meanwhile, in the utility room, Big Dave is busy pouring flammable liquid into the pipes and adding a lit joint. The resulting explosion sends dozens of fish and other objects flying through the air. Among them is Barry's trident, which speeds down and impales Kyle. Both he and the fish perish. In the final scene, Maddy calls Carl Goodman. He claims that the piranhas are beginning to walk, just as he predicted. When one of the piranhas crawls out of the pool, young fool David approaches it to take a photo, but the piranha jumps up and cleanly bites off his head, and at this point, the film ends.